Welcome to this video where we're going to be solving quadratic equations by the square root. Okay, so we know from my first series of videos that how we write quadratic equations, they're always written in this format: x squared plus c is equal to 0. But whenever you don't have a x, like the middle term, that's when you apply solving quadratic equations by the square root. Does that make sense? So looking at this equation 1, if you relate it to these equations, does it have a middle term? No. It only has an a term. A is 1 here. So in this equation, a is equal to 1. B is not b. B is 0. C is equal to negative 16. So it doesn't have a b term. That's what I mean. So if it doesn't have a b term, just solve it by the square root, right? And what you're going to do is just isolate x, take 16 the other side of the equation. So you're having x squared minus 16 is equal to 0. So x squared is equal to 16 if you take 16 the other side of the equation. At this point, guys, find the square root on both sides of the equation. Please note, the square root is plus or minus, right? For example, the square root of 4 is plus or minus 2. The square root of 9 is plus or minus 3. The square root of 16 is plus or minus 4. Always the square root of a positive number is plus or minus, right? So note that. So here, the square root of x squared is x, so x will be equal to plus or minus 4. What that means is the solution side of x is negative 4 and 4. Does that make sense? Okay. So looking at this example 2, we're having 6x squared is equal to 54. So at this point, I'll divide both sides of the equation by 6 once, by 6 9. So you're having your x squared being equal to 9. If you find the square root both sides of the equation, you're going to get x is equal to plus or minus 3. So meaning the solution set of x is negative 3 and 3. Does that make sense? All right, so feel free to pause this video, guys, and try out by yourself and see what you get. Let's look at other examples. Again, there is no middle term here. There is no b term. So just you're having minus 2x squared being equal to negative 98. Just divide both sides of the equation by negative 2. That's what you have to do first. And then that cancels. You'll have x squared being equal to, the negatives cancel, and then you'll be left with 49. At this point, get the square root both sides of the equation. Square root here, square root this side. And then you'll get the square root of 49 is plus or minus 7. So that means the solution set of this x is negative 7 and positive 7. Again, looking at this example, guys, isolate x, and then this will be 3x squared is equal to positive 1, 8. Divide both sides by 3 cancels. You're going to get x squared being equal to 36. All right, so at this point, find the square root both sides of the equation. So to undo the square, find the square root, you'll get x is equal to plus or minus 6. So that's the solution set. All right, guys, thank you for watching. See you in my part 2. Bye.